Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm busy playing the Mirka Snake game.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to address that at all. That's fine. We're just going to keep going. Remington, you like games, right?
I do. Specifically, the Mirka Snake game, Mirka Chase 2, on Neopets.com.
Holy shit. Well, unfortunately, Rem, I don't have an adaptation of that game for you tonight.
That's a shame.
That would have been so perfect. But unfortunately, no, we just don't have that. But what I do have for you, Rem, is an anime that's loosely based on a Japanese party game.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Rem, have you ever heard of Osama Game or the King's Game?
I don't know. I might have, or it's just a generic name, and it's difficult for me to tell.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Rem, if we were to give it like a raw American equivalent, truth or dare, spin the bottle.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, basic premise is this. You get a bunch of sticks with either numbers or with numbers, and one of them is marked as special as the king. Everybody draws sticks, and then the king gets to give an order to people, but usually they don't know who has what number, so it'd be a thing like, number 1 must slap number 3 on the behind, or things of that nature. You know, your typical, like, party...
Horny teen game.
Yeah.
It's a game where it's like...
1,000,000% a
where
horny
it's like,
teen game.
oh yes, let's all be as overtly horny as possible, but pretend as if there's any plausible deniability, because for some reason that's a priority.
Look, man, you gotta set up a pathway to walk down, you know?
Like, sure.
That's the purpose of a lot of those games. And this one is one that has popped up once or twice in anime. I can't remember any specific examples where it has happened, but it occasionally shows up in, like, slice of life shows or romance shows or things of that nature, because, you know, it's a very silly little plot point that can lead to silly slice of life drama and such. But it's a pretty straightforward game. And today, Remington, we're talking about an anime that is simply titled Osama Game or King's Game.
This time, we like they're all playing and having fun. Then one of them's like, "Number 3 kills number 5," and it's like, "Oh God, I have to because it's the game."
Well,
did I snipe it?
Not exactly, but kinda. Oh man, like Rem, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's a psychological horror suspense anime about a classroom of kids being forced into a supernatural king's game where they have to obey the various kings' claims and desires. Otherwise, horrific, horrible things happen to them.
Then this is a very popular, like, even subgenre of horror. Take a children's game. Oh no, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And like very similarly related to like task-based horror. Oh, we have to accomplish XY horrible things, or we're fucked.
Yeah. You know.
And here's my take. I'm a sucker for the genre. I think it's wildly compelling, and it's just a neat concept, right?
Yep.
That it's so easy to do lazily and bad that the vast majority of media in this subgenre of horror is garbage. It's a subgenre where I'm like, ooh, I really like it conceptually, and then I'm like, man, what is all this trash? So, you know, we'll see which...
I mean, to be fair, Rem, you and I have gone to so many of these movies. Like, you and I specifically, because how often would we go to be like, man, let's watch a horror movie in theaters, and it was a movie that was just like this?
Oh, yes, hardcore.
Yeah, like, God, I think the last one that comes to mind that we went to that was fucking awful was Truth or Dare. Do you remember that one?
We saw Truth or Dare together. Oh, fuck.
Like, we were so angry at that movie, too.
Oh shit!
It
Yeah,
was
so
so fucking
basically,
dumb.
let's that'll be my barometer. Is it better or worse than Truth or Dare?
And hey, it's animated, so that means that they can get away with a lot more dramatic violence in it. And yeah, I think this would be a fun experience for you, Rem. And it's a game that you're not familiar with, but at the same time, you know what it is. Like, it's a game everybody knows.
Yeah,
The king gives orders, and you have to follow the orders. Otherwise, a punishment happens. But the problem is like in the setting where it's a bunch of horny teenagers playing the game, they very rarely say what the punishment is because they're just happy to have the excuse to do the thing.
Yeah. You're like,
So-
I don't know, get shot in the fucking head. Does it matter? Like, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the horny thing.
It's like, oh no, you're gonna have to kiss somebody. Ooh, scandalous.
Oh man.
Do you think people will believe that I participated in games like these as a teenager, or do you think I was, or do you think?
Oh, of course.
Okay,
You're a notorious horn dog.
Okay, wait, now hold on. Hold on, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about, people invited me to parties. That was more what I was excited about. Hang on. That's, you know what? The hole's getting deep. Let's stop it right here. Without further ado, let's go watch some King's Game. And we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the 2017 anime Osama Game, or King's Game. And Remington, on a scale of Truth or Dare to the worst thing you've ever seen, where does this fall?
Well, all right. First of all, you're not providing a lot of range in your.
No. It's very much like, hey, man, if Truth or Dare is the peak.
Yeah. It's very limiting right here.
Yeah. Would you prefer I go a Ouija? Ouija, was that one of the ones that was weird?
Ouija trash, but the sequel much better, or the prequel rather. Nonetheless, Sean.
Yes.
So the premise of this, as we talked about, it's a kid's game but spooky, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna throw something onto you. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna pitch something for you.
All right, hit me with it.
All right. Imagine. All right. Here's the story. You wake up.
Okay.
You're in a dingy, grimy basement. All right.
All
A
right.
strange device is attached to you. You cannot get it off. All right.
Interesting.
Attached
Interesting.
to your face. It's uncomfortable. You don't know what's going on. The little TV screen in the corner lights up. There's a creepy puppet right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep,
It wants to play a game.
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
It wants to
Interesting.
play a game, and it says that it has a challenge for you. If you complete the challenge, you're fine. If you fail, then what's going to happen is it's going to rip your jaw off, kick you in the nuts, throw you off a cliff.
Okay. Now, Rem, this is your own original script, yeah?
Oh, my own original script.
Oh,
all right?
fascinating.
So the puppet, we'll call him Lil Bonesaw. The puppet, the completely original puppet.
But his canon name is Bobby, yeah?
Yeah, of course. The puppet is going to give you a challenge. You gotta succeed at the challenge, otherwise, oh no. And here's the challenge, all right?
Okay.
Nice, grotesque, horrific.
Okay.
To survive, Sean, you have to touch Kenzie's boob.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did this lose a lot of the tension we might have otherwise been building up?
Well, hey, Rem, I feel like that. I was thinking I'd be after something along the lines of, I don't know, kill somebody or cut off a part of my body or I don't know, like dox my family to horrible people, like something a bit more than non-consensually touching somebody.
Yeah, you think that. You think that?
Yeah.
No, mostly it's just horny nonsense.
That doesn't sound like a good recipe for a thriller horror style supernatural experience.
Sean?
Yeah.
This show was written by a 14-year-old.
That's generous.
Who's like, look, all right, the scariest things are when you die horrifically or you have to touch a boob and it's like, oh no, oh man, shucks. Well, I guess if I gotta, guess if I really have to.
Oh, if you're gonna push me.
So let's talk about the actual show. First, let's start with the introduction of the characters. There's an immediate problem with that. Two immediate problems.
Is it the fact that there are no characters?
One is it's not that there's no characters, all right?
Okay, all right.
One, there's so many characters, and two, they have characterization. So often loose characterization, but characterization.
Okay.
And there's so many characters, in fact, I think there's like 40.
I mean, it is a full classroom full of characters, yeah.
Sean, no, you don't understand. It is not one classroom full of kids.
Yeah.
It is 2 classrooms.
Yes.
Full of kids, because we're actually telling 2 stories at once.
Yes.
The main story is this King's Game that is happening to this class. But we are also telling, in this season, the story of the King's Game before that the protagonist took part in and survived.
Feels like things are a little out of order there.
Yeah, and hey, don't get me wrong, there's a way to tell that story successfully. This ain't it. We get inundated with so many characters, and like I said, it's not that they have no personality, sorry, though a couple of them have no personality. They have strong one-dimensional personalities that will radically change from scene to scene. So you'll be like, oh, this character, they do X, right? Oh, this is the bubbly girl, right? And then, apropos of literally nothing, they will suddenly be a completely different personality.
Yes.
The next time you see them.
Yes.
Nothing will have caused that. It's not like, oh, wow, the stress is really getting to them. That's just how they are right now.
Correct, yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason, which makes it a difficult viewing experience.
Interesting.
So we largely get an introduction to everything in this first episode. We have our protagonist. We have this girl who really wants to fuck the protagonist.
Yeah.
Everybody is very kind to the protagonist, who's the new kid in school, right? People are just like, hey, great to see you. Oh my gosh. And he's just an asshole to everybody, really.
Oh yeah, no. Consummate.
And as he's an asshole to everybody, this girl is like, oh my god, I want to fuck you so bad. We have seen no redeeming qualities of him.
Nope.
No idea why she feels that way.
Nope.
We also, one of the early things is we see some sports day festivities, right? They do a little relay race.
Yep.
And we see that, actually, surprise, surprise, the show is woke. Men and women competing in sports together, Sean. The liberals got anime. They got to it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that, and the copious amount of yaoi, yuri, etc. out there. That wasn't the point. It was this anime.
Yes. Only this one.
Only this one. I see. I understand.
So King's Game starts in the school, and the first challenge for our protagonist, ooh la la, he needs to kiss the girl who really wants to fuck him.
That seems pretty hard to do.
Oh, so hard to do. And she's like, all right, let's kiss. And he's like, no.
I feel like he doesn't understand the stakes of this game.
But he does. He's the survivor of the last one.
But
he kind of, I guess, wants to die in this moment and is okay letting someone else die too.
That's not very protagonist of him.
And this will be very important in one scene later, but in the moment, even immediately after the stakes are revealed that it's life or death, it's just kind of like, oh, that's weird that you almost let me die. Oh, well, I still want to fuck you. So we continue on, right? This is still in the first episode. God, it's such a dense first episode, which I don't know why.
Which is amazing considering how little there goes on in the 4 following it.
Yep. The next, they end up kissing, and the next day at midnight, the message is, hey, don't fall asleep, which is a real gotcha, because many students are already asleep when they get the message.
That doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't. Also, this for some reason, this will be a constant trend. You'd think that the kids would sort of just all stay awake at midnight, see what the task is, make sure they don't suddenly or randomly die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You gotta be ready and then be like, okay, now I can go to sleep, or now I need to handle some shit. That never happens. Everybody just sort of tries to live their own life. The only people who consistently stay awake is the protagonist. Everyone else is like, I'll see what it is in the morning and hope I live.
I don't think people understand the severity of the situation.
And at this point, they only kind of do. They're only starting to understand it. But now people are dying because they fell asleep. Everybody, I imagine there's a class group chat. It's not mentioned, but how else would you explain meeting in the middle of the night all at the same place with all of your living classmates? They all meet up, and a lot of them are panicking, right? Our protagonist explains he's played before. He gives the whole backstory and everything. They're like, so you know that people die if they fail? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, and you tried to fail your first mission and not kiss the girl who really wants to fuck you? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, so you just were going to be cool if she died? That's pretty fucked up. And everybody goes from being his best friend who fucking loves him to thinking he's the biggest asshole in the whole world. And so they start beating him up. But a bully who hits him explodes into blood.
That seems dramatic.
I don't know why this happens.
Hey, buddy, that makes two of us.
I don't think it was anywhere in the rules. I can't remember. I think they try to half justify it later, maybe.
Yeah, like...
I don't really understand what's going on. It seems unclear. It's bad.
Yeah.
Episode 2, we get more prompts, all right? Another day of prompts. Everybody's in shock. New prompts come out. And what do you know? The girl who really wants to fuck protagonist, she needs to fuck some other guy. Oh, no. And she's a virgin. Oh, no, she has to lose her virginity to some rando dude instead of the love of her life, this other rando dude that's the protagonist.
That was definitely going to let her die in a horrific manner.
That was going to let her die, and she is still fine with this. She now understands. I want to be clear. At this stage, where she goes to the protagonist and is like, I want you to take my virginity before I have to fuck that guy. When she's asking protagonist to do that, she knows protagonist tried to kill her.
Yeah.
She knows that.
Yeah, correct.
And he's like, I don't want to fuck you, which is reasonable. It's okay to have boundaries. If you have to fuck them and it's like to save their life, it's a moral gray area. Maybe you should fuck them even if you don't really want to. Meanwhile, if they're just asking and you don't feel like it, yeah, you can say no. That's fine. And then she's suddenly like, all right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go fuck that guy. And that guy, rando guy, right? Rando guy over here. He was super down to fuck her when she didn't want to fuck. When she was like, oh no, I can't do that. He was like, come on, sweetheart, let's get down to business. Now she throws herself at this rando dude. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? I don't know what the writing is doing here.
Hey, bud, that makes two of us. Like, yeah.
It makes three of us if we include the writer.
Here's the thing: is I'm not certain he does either.
Exactly.
Because, like, hey, Rem, just for a little bit of clarification, this was based off of a light novel series, believe it or not.
Yep.
Not just a light novel series, a cell phone novel series. Familiar with cell phone novels, Rem?
No.
Oh man, if you think light novels are light, man, it's even lighter than that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and the original series publication was from 2009 to 2015.
Okay.
And they adapted this in 2017. So this opening stuff we're seeing is from a 2009 story.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just weird dynamics here. The girl also, and I'm not using a lot of names. I don't care enough.
Hey bud, I watched the whole series. I can't tell you any of their names.
Yes. So the girl is like, you know what, protagonist? You would have let me die. Like, now I guess it sunk in, and it just didn't before. And she's like, and you know what? I'm gonna fucking ruin your life. All right. I'm gonna end you, you son of a bitch. And she wanders off and he follows and she's like, I'm gonna tell everybody you raped me, actually. Keep in mind, she like went crazy in front of everybody.
Yes.
Everybody saw that she lost her mind.
Correct, yes.
And now she's like, oh, protagonist trying to kill me. Actually, he's trying to murder me. And everybody is like, yep, checks out. That is plausible. That makes sense.
Like
Everything that we've seen so far totally adds up. And so then they attack the protagonist. They don't explode into blood.
No.
And so this sort of continues on a little bit. It's very, very stupid. There's also a bit with, we get a flashback in episode 2, all right?
Yeah.
This is where we get introduced to the first King's game that protagonist was a part of. And we meet so many more new characters, also of which are one-dimensional and wildly inconsistent. All that you need to know, all right, in the past, there's protagonist, best friend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Those are the important labels. And at one point, a rando guy is in danger in the past. And so protagonist is like, I'll tell you what, I will stay with you all night to make sure you're safe and that you don't die. And he's like, wow, I appreciate that. So he hangs out with this rando, right? And they stays there till midnight, hanging out and bonding. And then around midnight, rando is like, hey, I'm gonna go off on my own for a minute. And protagonist, whose sole goal is to keep a close eye on this son of a bitch. He thinks he thinks it's just past midnight, so he thinks they're sort of safe. But also, it's not like he knows how this works. He doesn't know if there's leeway, right? It could be like at midnight, that's when you're compelled to off yourself or something.
Right.
But he's just like, yeah, even though I promised to stay with you all night long, I'll let you go off on yourself. Oh no, you offed yourself. How could I possibly have imagined that would happen?
There was no way to prevent this, friend.
Truly no way to prevent such a thing. We get to episode 3. So in the present, Nobu, which is the protagonist's name, I have that here in the 3rd episode finally. His name is Nobu.
Yeah. Nobuaki Kanazawa is the full name.
Well, people call him Nobu, so I'm going to stick with Nobu.
Mm-hmm.
Nobu is saved by a guy. I don't know if we've seen this guy before. I don't remember seeing him until now. He shows up. He saves Nobu. We get another flashback where there's a popularity contest between Pretty Girl and Best Friend. All right? And whoever gets the least amount of votes from the class is gonna die. Well, they're gonna get punished, all right? And thus far, 100% of the punishments have been death.
Yeah. Kind of takes a lot of the tension out of it, doesn't it?
And also, thus far, I think 100% of the punishments have been to hang yourself. There's not a ton of variety. They introduced a little bit more variety. One guy exploded into blood, but it wasn't clear whether that was like a game punishment or whether it's like that's the consequence for sometimes hitting Nobu, but not always.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. Nobody knows. So they start campaigning. Obviously, Nobu the protagonist is campaigning for his best friend to get votes. But the girl, she's horribly immoral. All right.
Mm.
And this sickens Nobu, frankly, when he hears about it.
I see.
He can't believe it. She's seducing guys for votes, Sean.
Whoa.
Truly despicable behavior. Like this is a casual life or death game. You can't be using your feminine wiles.
You can't use every tactic imaginable.
It's clearly immoral and wrong.
Yeah.
It's a close vote, but eventually the best friend wins. So the girl decides, hey, a little auto defenestration is in order, jumps out of the window, falls to the ground, and dies. But wouldn't you know it, her punishment was just gonna be to confess to the person she likes. Oh. So do you get it, Char? It's a dramatic, it's like, oh no, the tragic irony.
Yeah.
Oh no, random girl didn't have to die. Is it resonating? Is that, see, it's clever, is the thing, Sean.
Hey, Ryan, I don't think just saying something is clever automatically makes it clever.
No, because you thought that she'd have to die, and she thought she'd have to die, so she got ahead of it and killed herself. But actually, the punishment, which has been only and exclusively death in both timelines, it was just going to be to confess to the person you like.
I feel like if you had, I don't know, pointed that out ahead of time, this wouldn't have been an issue.
But we want it to be an issue because the dramatic irony, and that's clever.
But really, you gotta start off small, then build up, and then drop a twist like that, right? Surely.
But Sean, have you considered how clever it is?
I don't think I have.
Because they really feel like it's clever. And so, the author really feels like you should view it as clever too.
But Rem, what if I don't?
Nah, shit. So then we get into a weird bit, right? Where it's like, okay, she can't do her punishment anymore. So actually rules change now. Even though best friend won the popularity contest, he has to do a punishment instead. It gets transferred to him. And you're like, oh, the punishment gets transferred, so he has to confess to the person he likes. No, he has to have sex.
Hey, Rem.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are teenagers, right?
Yes, yeah.
Isn't that, like, something that teenagers are famous for doing?
All right. See, I understand why you're like, oh, this is no big deal. Let me frame it for you, okay, Sean? And then you'll see why it's such a big deal.
Okay. All right. Maybe my perspective was skewed. Tell me, Rem, how should I be looking at it?
All right. So we got Nobu, the protagonist. We got the best friend. We got the girlfriend. They're all hanging out, right?
Okay.
And they get the message. Oh man, best friend has to have sex, and he has to have it soon. The end of the day is coming. Oh no, but how could they possibly do it in this time frame? There's only them. And meanwhile, protagonist and girlfriend have declared their love for each other and how amazing they are for each other, right? But if best friend doesn't fuck someone very soon, then he's gonna die by self-immolation. Sometimes it specifies what'll happen. Other times, good luck.
Yeah, like, it'd be one thing if everything was consistent.
It's wildly inconsistent, as is everything. So, seeing this terrible dilemma, the protagonist turns to his best friend and is like, you have to fuck my girlfriend. And best friend's like, excuse me? And he's like, you have to fuck my girlfriend. Girlfriend, yeah, you gotta fuck him. And she's like, what? And he's like, it has to be. It has to go down. You two need to lose your virginity to each other right here, right now. Go into the other room, fuck each other. Best friend passes out, so I guess, that's brings in questions for consent. Everybody's crying, and protagonist's like, I can't let my best friend die. It'd be the worst thing in the world, which I'm gonna level with you, all right? If you're such a good friend, worried about your bestie, they gotta fuck someone or die. Fuck them yourself, coward.
Exactly. It's like, when shit's life or death, right?
You gotta present your supple asshole and let your homie go to town. It's life or death. Don't traumatize your girlfriend over this, all right? And don't just try to fulfill your cuck fetish, which is very obviously what the scene is. It's so obvious.
It's just missing the chair.
But yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird scene.
Hey, Rem, I got a question for you.
Yep.
So all this so far, would you classify it as horror or scary?
No!
That's a problem.
Not in the least, you son of a bitch.
That's... Oof. Then why do people call this a horror anime?
Well, it's horrific, I'll tell you that.
Maybe that's why. It was just an accidental tagging.
So, episode 4, all right? We get some exposition on the first ever King's Game.
Seems a bit late.
Well, hey, it's how it goes. They're learning about it too. And so what happened is there was an old village. Back then, it was done through mysterious slips of paper, right? Spread throughout the whole village. And it ravaged this town, destroyed it entirely. All of this happened long ago. 30 years.
Wait, now hold on. That doesn't seem that long ago.
Long ago in a town before technology existed. 30 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you forget that this was written by a horny and edgy, 14-year-old wasn't correct. 10-year-old? For them, 30 years is like prehistoric times.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get older than that. Which is very concerning for you and me right now. Our cutoff date is approaching quick.
So episode 4 is all about a new girl. In the flashback, we're in the past right now. In the present, the only story is they're on the train for the whole episode. The past, there's a random girl who also really wants to fuck the protagonist. Everybody does. And she has a stupid plan to learn about the king. It's really stupid. She's able to make a command, and she makes a command to herself that she has to touch the king. Now, there's a lot better ways to go about this. For example, all right?
Okay.
Everybody must tell me a true fact about the king. They are allowed to say as many false facts as they please, so long as they end up telling me one true fact. You are also allowed to repeat true facts that somebody else has said. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Then you have somebody, they just start listing possible facts, a little guess who action, right?
Mm-hmm.
They find an answer, and if it gets to crunch time, everybody just repeats one of the true facts that we learned. And then you learn a ton more.
Man, Rem, that seems like a very unique and clever solution to the problem.
No, this one, she just has to touch them. Because she's like, they gotta be someone in our class.
That makes no sense
So
whatsoever.
she very slowly touches everybody. And she touches their tit every time. Guy or gal, always a tit touch. And always wildly slowly, right? But there's one girl who shows up and is like, hey, I'm the king, actually. You don't even need to touch me. So what are you gonna do? Kill me, cowards? But that might have happened in a dream, or it might have been real. It's not super clear. But she eventually does this evil girl, we'll call her. Pseudo-evil girl. She's obviously not gonna actually be evil, but...
Yeah, no, hey, bud, spoiler alert.
She's pretending to be evil for manufactured conflict reasons.
Correct. And then she burns to death later. It's fine, don't worry about it.
So, she eventually gets the rando girl to touch her, and there's not a notification. Eventually, the rando girl has touched everybody, and oh no, she hasn't succeeded. Nobody in the class is the king. She's gonna get punished. She gets punished by going blind, and she's like, oh fuck, oh no. And it's nice and horrific. Then, Nobu, the protagonist, he is sent a task that he must give up something important to him, right? And so he goes and like breaks all of his meaningful objects at home. None of that works. He tries breaking up with his girlfriend and being like, I cheated on you and I hate you, actually. That doesn't work. Why don't these things work? Fuck you.
Yeah.
The only thing that works is when Rando Girl, who, remember, she wants to fuck the protagonist, she kills herself for him because she is something meaningful and something important that he has now lost. Then, the evil shit starter girl, she shows up and is like, well, yeah, I'm the king, remember? And he's like, no, but she touched you. And she's like, she didn't touch me. I grabbed her and made her touch me, which doesn't count as her touching me if you think about it.
God, it's so stupid. Oh, God, it's so stupid, Rem. It's so stupid.
A 10-year-old wrote this, and you cannot tell me otherwise. A 10-year-old wrote this, and they were like, oh my God, I'm brilliant. This 10-year-old thought they were a prodigy.
Hey, Rem, would you like to know the name of the author?
Please do.
Nobuaki Kanazawa.
Holy shit. They fucking named the protagonist after themselves.
Correct, yes.
I can't handle this.
I mean, of course, his pen name is Pakuncho, so...
In episode 5, the girl is like, kill me, coward, you won't, and then tases him randomly. We meet some more randos who are in love with each other or whatever, and one of them kind of helps protagonist before dying. Everybody gets an order to not do anything unnecessary. Who knows what that means?
No fucking clue, dog.
As it turns out, obviously, Sean, it means you're not allowed to cry.
What?
Everything else, necessary. All right? Everything else, very necessary. Crying, unnecessary, and you'll die.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. As, most of this episode doesn't make a lot of sense. Eventually, protagonist gets kidnapped by a girl who also gives him, like, kind of just a fit. She gives him, like, a jacket that he did not have before. It's kind of weird, but okay. But then he explains himself and they get out of it and it doesn't matter. I don't care. She cries and she dies and he's safe. Sean?
Yep.
I am a dumber and worse person for having watched this show.
And you can see why I had to show it to you, because I had to watch it as well.
I don't. You've made the world a worse place.
I mean, hilariously, you did get sick right after watching this show.
This show infected me. Look, I was sick just a couple weeks ago, all right? I got better just a couple weeks ago. And then immediately after watching this, bam, I'm sick again. I'm dying. I feel like I should have some degree of natural immunity. Nope, this show fucked me up.
Yeah.
On a physiological level, this show is trying to kill me.
Hey, Rem, it felt much like that back when it aired in 2017 when I first saw it.
It's absolute trash. It is utter garbage.
Hey, Rem, look on the bright side. I didn't make you watch the episode where a girl strangled the dog to death.
Jesus Christ. Can I make some predictions about this show, Sean? There's one prediction I really want to make, all right?
All right, go ahead.
Like, I have some other predictions that honestly I don't give enough of a shit about to even mention.
Okay.
But here's my big prediction. I'm gonna do something I don't know if I've ever done. I'm gonna predict the final frame of this whole show.
Okay, Rem.
I don't know exactly how we get there, all right?
Okay.
Maybe it's that protagonist survives, maybe he sacrifices himself helping somebody else be the survivor, or maybe they all sacrifice themselves to try to end the game permanently. Whatever. Something. That none of that matters. But it's gonna be happy ending ... and then the final frame, or very close to it, will be somebody's cell phone pinging with an order from the king. It'll be like, oh, you thought it was over, but oh no! I feel it in my loins, and I feel it in my heart. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, Rem, you said the last frame. The last frame is actually a to be continued screen that never got a to be continued.
Oh, praise be. Oh, well, I mean, before that, but the last narrative frame.
Okay, so last narrative frame, some fucked up shit happens with the chainsaw. Everybody, including the protagonist, dies except for one final girl, except the final girl picks up the corpse of the protagonist and walks into the sea, presumably drowning with his corpse. And then it cuts to a complete stranger.
Oh, baby, wait. And then this complete stranger, it's like, oh, you thought it was over because all of the characters we've met throughout this, we're done with them, but now with this fucking rando con, Sean, tell it to me.
Gets an order from the King's Game.
Holy shit, it's so predictable.
I just looked up, so I don't usually do this, but I pulled up the TV tropes page for this particular story. Somebody had the audacity. Someone had the audacity to put the bittersweet ending tag at the end of this TV tropes, which is hilarious because the way they frame it is, despite Nobuaki and his friends dying by the end, they are all happily reunited in the afterlife. Which, fuck you, dude.
Holy shit, that's
you.
so funny. I want every slasher movie now has a bittersweet ending, and I'm just gonna be like, wow, man, it's real fucked up that everybody died, but they're gonna be in heaven together, so that's pretty swell. Yeah, this was trash, Sean. This was trash, and it hurt me, and I'm broken, and I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm dead on the inside and the out.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Rem, I know it'll make you happier. Any guesses on what the mouse score for this show is?
Oh, okay. Let's work this out. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, if this is over 8, I think I quit the podcast.
Remember the last time you made an ultimatum rant?
This one is even less likely, but I said what I said. I'm worried that it would be like just above a 7 because it definitely shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
But weebs.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a part of me is worried that like it's a kind of show that's dunked on now, but maybe like
when
while it was airing, people were like, I don't know, it seems pretty good. I'm gonna have a little bit of faith in the weebs. Not much, but I'm gonna believe that it's not in the 7s.
Okay.
If it was in the category of like notorious, everyone loves to hate it, then it could be even lower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, did the anti-hype train hit this show? Or is it just obscure, cringy, but not enough people care about it?
I mean, I have the answer to that question if you like.
If you're willing to answer it, it would help me refine my...
Basically, what I will say is the fact that we're doing this anime in the year of our Lord 2024, probably not going to be one of our most popular episodes.
Okay, all right, okay. I think it'll be a low... It always... Anytime you go below, like, 6.5 or anything, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
then it's the Wild West, because then it is just dependent on the anti-hype and with very little correlation to actual quality. Like, you'll know it's bad, but it won't meaningfully tell you how bad. I think I'll say 6 even.
An even 6. Okay.
Yeah, quite. Why not 5.9? I'll say the weebs fucking hate it, and that it got memed on a bit, but wasn't like the most popular thing to dunk on.
Okay. Well, Rem, the 2017 anime adaptation of King's Game had about just shy of 130,000 people rate it.
Oh, that's more than I was anticipating.
Yep. And it's sitting nice and pretty at a 5.07.
Oh, fuck, the weebs despise it.
Oh, yeah, no, everybody fucking hated the show when it came out.
All right, okay, so this was a popular one to dunk on. That's what that tells me.
Actually, no, it was more along the lines of, like, there were some people trying to defend it at first, but by the time the story ended, they're like, yeah, there's not much we can say to defend this anymore. Like, it wasn't memed on to hate outright, but basically anybody who actually sat down and watched it ended up disliking it, except for the most psychotic of individuals, right? Like, if I grab a random positive review here, let's see.
Honestly, I genuinely can't imagine thinking like, oh man, it started so strong, but then it fell off. Because
I didn't even think that myself, but some people do.
But the fact that anybody would. Because, no, it starts off absolutely horrendously. It is god-awful trash.
Okay, here's one from the same time when it released, right? November of 2017. This is what I like to call... The funniest thing about this is that they only watched half of the season before writing the review. And it doesn't seem to have been updated in, nearly a decade. But the opening line to this review, Christ almighty, is, for you guys who value morality or only like animes for their cuteness and for fun purposes, you should stay away from this. It's not for you guys. 7 out of 10.
Oh my god. They're like, yeah, I guess if you're sensitive, then you may not like this show. It's a little bit cerebral and a little bit intense. The edgy 10-year-old wrote that. The edgy 10-year-old that created this show is the same one who wrote that review.
Oh god, here's one from 2018 that makes no goddamn sense to me. Like, I have to believe that they're memeing. I have to, because it says, the opening line is stunning. The show is a breath of fresh air the anime industry needed.
No.
Can't recommend the show enough. 10 out of 10.
That has to be a meme.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like
that is horrific.
Yeah, no, because it's so bad. It's so bad. Nobody likes the show, and the people that do genuinely Rem are delusional. Like, there's not anything redeeming, and even if you just like a splatter show, you like seeing dramatic violence.
You don't get that it looks horrible almost at all times.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Rem, the most dramatic violence by the end is fully censored with black bars.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And even if it was uncensored, I can tell you right now, it's probably not that graphic.
Jesus Christ. This is an awful show.
Oh, it is.
This is the goddamn
horrific.
abyss.
It is horrific. It is one of the lowest shows we've ever reviewed, Rem.
I wish that I wasn't sick, because then I feel like I could be so much more... I could have given a proper animated, rant. And, there were touches of that in this podcast episode, but man, I could have gone so much harder on it.
Save it for free banter in the future. Just air out your dirty laundry in the future for a pre-banter when you're not deathly ill.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. So you have that to look forward to. But I guess with that in mind, hey Rem, any chance you want to pick up a cell phone novel and read the rest of King's Game with me?
I would rather hack up along in this very moment, and I just might.
I think you already have, lad.
Yep.
With that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy us going to the absolute garbage pits of despair that is really, really bad anime horror, then please head on over to wherever you get your reviews and leave us one yourself. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is not enough for you, twitch.tv/anime-out-of-context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime-out-of-context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who we thanking this week?
I'm gonna level with you.
You can't do it?
Not only can I not do it, I'm gonna let like you and then maybe Dylan, if you want to recruit him tonight to handle it. I'm gonna let you and Dylan handle it. I am actively dying and don't think that I'd be able to even passively participate. So we will have you and Dylan fill in on that, and then we'll just cut to the very end.
Okay, fair enough. I may just do it by myself really, really quickly. So who knows? So yeah, without... hey folks, it's me, Sean, all by himself, because unfortunately Remington decided to get sick again, is actively dying. So I'm gonna do the Patreons as fast as I can by myself. Will it be entertaining? Probably not. Will you guys keep me company? I sure hope so. I get lonely very easily. And as who are we thanking this week, Sean? Well, I'm glad you asked, Sean. As always, we love to thank our bland bitch protagonists and magical girls. But moving on up to our yandere waifus who are blatantly torturing us by making us sit through this show again and again and again. Starting with Duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum bum bum, welcome to Anime Out of Context," and it gets cut off. A Moe piece of trash, Aisha Gaji, AJ Tunnels, Audio Glitch, Bento Kato, Blake Star, Brock Hard for Geodudes. That's right, baby, all points, no quills, no pillows. Interesting. Cat girls are best girls, so give them cute little paws. Cheese Monkey, Daddy Rem Tell Me a Bedtime Story, Danielle Rye, Diana Madrid, Erica McCorkle, Fantide, Farmer Weeb is not great. I disagree, I think you're lovely. Fern, the guy learning guitar by watching anime, Glenn Michael Dolan, Hear Me Out, Judy Hops, Ain't That Right, Sean? Okay, listen here, you. I can't believe I made an account for this. I will be on episode 341. It's always good to have dreams. I will never get more Ace of the Diamond, Now I Cry. I'm the original guy that made you say cunt every week. The other guy is just a pretender. I'm not a MILF, but you can still call me mommy. Maybe not. Jake Dent, Jam Hands, Jax, Cassidy, King Ritrock, Langdon Hughes, Leonard98, Link Jokerl, Lucky Stars, the King of Moe, Macaroni Uchiha, making fake mail account so I can rate Forest Fairy 5 a 10 out of 10. Mikeka 7 Hierto. Misaka says, marshmallows are candy, peanuts are not, and marshmallow peanuts are an affront to civilization. I can't disagree there. My favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops. It's not my favorite, but it's cool because it uses 3 sword style. I've made that joke before. Nobody listens to this part anyways. Onichichi, 10 out of 10 family show. Pakuel Musico, Professor Fox, Pro Tips Out of Context, the pellet with the poison and the flagon with the dragon, the vessel with the pestle is the brew that is, I'm gonna guess, true, if we're going off the rhyming scheme. Raptor King, Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Rem hit rock bottom, is still on top of Sean. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weeps from bad anime. Remington is right. Remington uses the deer crackers of liberation. Remington wants good horror, he should just look in the mirror. Christ. Poor guy. Rhiannon Williams. There's so many of you. It's a good problem to have. Ross Palmer. Sarah from the Shark plushie. Sean calls the Shonen Flop guys the Shonen Hard guys, if you know what I mean. Sean could do these nuts. Sean ruined my happy sugar life when he fucked bad. I don't know if you know... You know what? No, not gonna address that. Sean, when are you showing Rem Uncle from Another World? He'll love it. Debatable, but we'll see. And seasonals, please, Nega Posey Angler. Sean, your grandma is apparently a cat and she lost my balls. You know what? That one got me. That one's funny. Sean, is that a slinky or are you happy to see me? Why would I have a slinky in my pocket? Sean, show Rem Kaguya-sama dubbed and my life is yours. Sean wants to give the Spoon Man a thank and yank. Slit the throat of reason and reality. Stacy's mom, Super Zoo. Turban, that guy lost his fiance to Haley to the Spoon Man. That smut has no place in fairy tales. 100 girlfriends. The bird's name is Cat, Misaka says, bemused at her own joke. The capybara is waiting for a cold-hearted, hot fae man to take her away. Honestly, fair. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Roronorazoro as my navigator. The Flying Spaghetti Monster, Spoon Man's Thousand Island Stare. The Susanator. Titan CNH, totally good. Unhinged Prax, watching Requiem for Spoon Man at 0.5 speed. Welcome to Anime in Full and Complete Context, the show where Wes Kane, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. When is the Bible on Context? On Law and His Daughters. Where's DBZ Review? You Ginger Fucked. Wolfire 56. Wonka Domain Expansion Inflation Porn. Gross. Yandere Neko. Yokeling Hokel. And Zeroten. Holy shit. Might be the fastest I've gotten through that, which is saying something because there's more of you than last time. Thank you, by the way. Love you all very much. And especially those who stayed to this point. You get a little special love from me. Kiss. But with that being said, we are moving above and beyond to our Boy Wizard tier, where this week they are going to get, well, I mean, let's keep it simple. They are going to get an old game of board or in-person play style. Starting with, Allfather wants to take this moment and thank the podcast for giving something to look forward to during this trying time. Hey, you're telling me, bud. You're going to get, you know what, I found a list of classic American board games. This'll do. You're going to get, ooh, well, hey, that's a start. How about Axis and Allies? Risk for edgy people, essentially. And every day that Raven comes to visit, you get Balderdash. Animated Z, you're going to get Battleship. Anime Mashup of the Week, Mrs. Vampire is my roommate, you get Boggle. Beethoven 1201, you get Canasta Caliente. Ooh, it's spicy canasta. Gross. Blood Cell, the one of many that rushes to Rem's lower half when he thinks about Gene Wilder's candy cane stashed in his pocket. Very appropriately, Candyland. But Little Rat wonders all those potatoes, gives Sean lots of gas. You get Cluedo. Carver 271, you're going to get Diplomacy. Crimson Reaper, just because of the size, you're going to get Jenga. Diddy Wonka wants syrup on his chalky bar. Gross. You're going to get Mastermind. Hopping on the Monogatari train, because why not? You're going to get, man, my favorite game. Ugh, Monopoly. Yes, I'm sure this is a classic American board game. Thanks, list. I'm a regulation listener that used to listen to Face Jam, but now listen to 100% Eat Rare Kumiko. You're going to get Naughty Charades. That old American classic, Naughty Charades. I summon the Ultimate Exodia. You're going to get Liar's Dice. I don't know if that's American. I feel like that predates America. Maybe Sean will show Rem Humanity has declined instead of the Monogatari series, Chicken Corpses and Ave Maria. You're going to get Phase 10. Miguel DeLeon, you're going to get Pictionary. Mike, you're going to get Risk. Rare Kimco has decided to show the Anime Humanity has declined instead of the Monogatari series. You're going to get Scattergories. Rem needs to watch Humanity has declined, if not just for the loaf of bread committing suicide. You're going to get Scotland Yard. Ross Kopp, you're going to get Scrabble. Scourge, best $20 spent LMAO. You're going to get Skipbo. Silent Secondary. Oh, no, excuse me, I skipped one. Oh, I skipped 3. Whoopsie. Sean thinks Humanity has declined. I saw my name and automatically passed over them. Weird how that works. Sean thinks Humanity has declined. Maybe he's better suited to my taste, so he will show me that anime next week. You're going to get a sequence. Sean, we need a distraction from the election. Let's finish Attack on Titan. Oh man, look, because we need to pair more. We need to pair despair with more despair. That's what we want. You're going to get Sorry. Silent Secondary. You're going to get The Game of Life. Spooky Scary Sammy K sees you shiver with anticipation. You're going to have a Trouble, the board game. Spoonman the Aristocrat, you're going to get a Trivial Pursuit. Stuff me like a turkey and splooge me with gravy. I guess appropriately you're going to get Twister. That Mouse Girl, Uno. The Strange Man asks Tails what he wants. You're going to get Yahtzee. Oh, shoot, I'm running out. Umbra Sight, you're going to get Snail's Pace. I've never heard of this. Weak some shit asking for Darling in the Franxx. I admire the dedication. You're going to get The Big Hole. And last but not least, whoops, I forgot to change my username for this month and called Sean a cuck for a month. Hey man, on this podcast I'm used to it. You're going to get Escape from the Hidden Castle. And moving on above and beyond to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler, where this week everybody is going to get as Joey Wheeler, they are going to get a horrific consequence of a beloved children board game coming to life. It's like the first one, but there's a lot more graphics and violence. Starting with, Sean, I'm still waiting for the first 5 episodes of Zoid's New Century. You're... Okay, I read ahead on some of the Patreon names. That one caught me off guard. You're going to get... tragically, you're going to get Sorry. And unfortunately, the tragic consequence of Sorry becoming a horror situation involves, you're gonna bump into somebody, say sorry, and they're going to explode into a mist of blood as a giant, little, weirdly shaped piece crushes them into paste. And the only way to save those around you is to hopefully roll on a die and go to the exact spot you need to. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing the game infinitely forever. Next up is Rowdio. You're going to get a Monopoly, but the horrific reality is that you're just in end-stage capitalism. I'm sorry. And last, but certainly not least, Sean, how many potatoes would it having your baby cost me? Man, what a sentence. Your tragic circumstance board game is going to be Twister. And the tragic circumstance of that will be the one episode of ReZero with Rem and Betelgeuse. If you just search Rem Plays Twister, that'll get you going. That'll tell you exactly how that's gonna turn out. And the only way to save people around is to, I don't know, resist the horny. Either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Now back to us in the past to actually pass this off to everybody. Thank you, Dylan, for all your editing. We love and appreciate you very much. Man, doing this alone is hard. I miss my friends. With that in mind, okay, blah, 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 blah.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.